Welcome to this introduction and overview about the training course Level 2 based on ISO 9712. This UT Level 2 course is the next level of training in ultrasonic testing and inspection and is tentatively designed for people who have completed my Level 1 UT course, which is currently the highest and rated course on the Udemy platform for ultrasonics, with 4.8 out of 5 possible stars. Or for those people who are certified UT Level 1 holders, or for people with good basic knowledge of UT. It is again a practice-oriented training course, which means that in addition to the theoretical side of UT, you will also get a kind of hands-on feeling through the practical demonstration videos using an ultrasonic testing equipment. As with the UT courses, the UT2 courses offered by the official certified training facilities, these courses or this course will also contain a summary of important topics that were already explained in Level 1. However, in this Level 2 UT course, I provide a deeper insight into the different topics. For example, I have used an Excel-based program that allows to visualize the sound beam based on the parameters, sound, speed, and frequency and effective piezoelectric element diameter. In general, the focus of the UT Level 2 course is on defect sizing. For better understanding, I use practical tests to explain how the amplitudes of defects of the same size change depending on their distance and why. The question of the smallest detectable defect size is also discussed in the context of explaining the wavelength lambda. Through some practical experience, the influence of the sound beam and geometry-related reflection effects is shown. Here you will learn about the amplitudes sometimes occurring in the A-scan that can confuse the NDT operator. These insights also help to select a better probe for a specific application. The use of angle beam probes, also known as shear wave probes, is discussed in detail. Their design, behavior at interfaces, effects on the longitudinal wave, also called compression wave, and the transversal wave, also called shear wave, as well as the law of refraction or Snellius law, are discussed in detail. Then the next topic focuses on the calculation that takes place in the flaw detector to accurately determine the position, the depth and surface distance of a reflector captured with an angle beam probe. To verify the results of the practical demonstration video for reflector position, we compare the results with the manual measured values. The most commonly used reference reflector, SDH, the sidereal hole, and FBH, the flat bottom hole, which are used as comparison reflectors for natural flaws, also called discontinuities, are explained in the context of their sizing methods DAC and DGS, also known as AVG in German. Using a flaw detector, calibration blocks V1 and V2, and a DGS diagram. Preparation for realistic inspection. Here a flaw detection on a T-weld joint is explained in detail as an example, including the creation of a DAC curve in practical video. The use of the the V1 and the V2 calibration blocks is explained in the context of calibration, and the practical video shows the difference between a manual and automatic calibration on a V2 calibration block. The DAC and DGS AVG sizing methods are there, and their advantages and disadvantages are explained. The development of the DGS AVG diagram and the creation of such curves in the flaw detector as well as the use of the pre-stored curves are discussed, as users often do not fully understand the background. A series of practical tests are shown where we use a custom-made test block with circular reflectors, flat bottom holes, inserted at different angles and depths to check the correctness of the DGS diagram and the DGS function of the instrument. Finally, all the results are evaluated and discussed. The last session explained the use of the DGS AVG function, starting with the UT system calibration, the procedure for creating the DGS curves based on a back wall reflection amplitude acquisition from the V2 calibration block, and finally checking the correctness of the results. Here the aim is also to get an idea about the possible tolerances for the DGS method for the effect sizing. A practical demonstration video shows the whole procedure. At the end, some important topics related to correction values to the gain in dB are also explained. Here, the correction values depend on the probe design, size of the piezo element, frequency and angle, and the calibration block used. A further correction value, transfer correction, relate to the possible differences in sound attenuation and surface roughness of the calibration block and the test object. Within the course you will find several examples for certain mathematical functions used in a UT, along with some tests for you. Every single session also includes a quiz, so that you can check yourself to what extent you understand the different subjects. And now, have fun learning UT with this Level 2 course.